Because I mean, now I'm successful. I've done this thing, and it's
Got
like what
everything you could have
people-
imagined.
You know what I mean? People
Yeah.
are like, "Utlokile ntwana," but kitlokile ingi.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? What is it that I figured out? Because I'm gonna die.
Whew.
So what did I figure out that no one else did? Everyone, we're all gonna die.
We are all going to die anyway. Sure, those are some deep words, guys. Those are some heavy words from Cassper Nyuvest. So he recently went on to Mpumile Dwaba's Wisdom and Wellness podcast, and he shared some deep stuff about his life, some personal stuff about his life. And amongst these, of course, he shared about how he got his big breakthrough and all these things. But more intimately, he shared about how he found God, or how he returned back to God. So guys, in this video, we're going to be exploring the connection between AKA's death and Cassper finding God. Because I mean, you're gonna see in this video, which I saw as well, I went through the entire interview and I reached that conclusion. But before we get into why I think so, hit that like button. Let's get this video to 500 likes. You already know that it's going to be good. So first of all, guys, Cassper speaks about death a lot, about how death was hounding him, how he was thinking about death. Check this out.
And I'm performing and everyone's going crazy, but in my mind I'm like, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna die anyway. So it doesn't matter if you guys think I'm cool or not. You're all gonna die too. So it's like so wild.
Very dark.
Bro.
Yeah,
Like,
but I get
what's
you.
going on with me?
So guys, this is classic depression. This is basically when life has got no meaning anymore, where you feel it's all purposeless. And I suspect it's because AKA died in a manner which Cassper didn't even think was possible. He didn't even fathom. None of us thought that this was possible, right? This was in February 2023. And these two were competitors, right? I mean, they changed the game. And this is what Cassper said about AKA.
Because remember, people don't recognize that me, AKA and KO changed the game. They don't recognize that before us,
Yeah.
the longevity of artists was 3 years.
So imagine, guys, you've got someone who you're competing against. You guys have got one goal to be the best. You're accumulating all this wealth. You're doing all these things, all this fame. And suddenly, the person you're competing with is snuffed away. Just like that, guys. Just like that. You know what went down with AKA. One moment he was here.
There you go, let's go!
The next, he was gone. And I believe this shook Cassper to the core. It shook him to the core, guys. And I always wondered, after AKA's death, you know, what this really meant for Cassper, how it impacted him. Of course, the first days, you know, he came out, I think was about to go to the US and all these things. But I think it shocked him. I mean, it shook him. You know, listen to what else was happening.
I woke up one day and I looked in the mirror and I had questions I couldn't answer.
This is last year.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
last year, like towards the end of last year, maybe
Yeah.
from July, August.
Yeah.
You know, but these questions are questions I've always had, but I couldn't answer them. But it's like my answers were not good enough and I didn't understand what was going on, you know? And it was 3 simple questions like, who are you, where do you come from, and where are you going?
And you had no answer.
And I didn't have an answer. And I was like, because at first I was like, I mean, I'm my parents' child. So,
I'm Cassper.
yeah, but like the question was actually to my soul. It wasn't like to this
Yeah.
temple, this
Yeah.
body, this.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm like, what do you mean? Why are you questioning where my soul comes from? It's like,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I started questioning God. It's like, what is this? Like, where do I come from? And why don't I remember? Like, what's going on? Like, and like my whole life became a blur. Like, you know, I didn't enjoy anything. I didn't care about anything.
So guys, Cassper says this was around, you know, July 2023, going to the end of 2023, right? And I think the other thing that impacted him, we need to remember, this was also after his friend DJ somebody was also taken out, right, in November of 2022. And it was also in a shocking way. You know, this guy, he just was taken out just like that. Just like that. He was taken out. And imagine your friend is gone. Few months later, your competitor or rival, someone you got beef with, is gone. I mean, that will leave you thinking, you know, what's going on? What's up with this world? And man, this thing really affected Cassper. I mean, look at what he says about how this affected his relationship with his own son, guys.
I remember, and I was going to Durban, I was performing there, and I remember thinking, okay, at least I'm going to see my son. So, you know, he'll make me
there's
feel better.
something, yeah.
And I remember my son running towards me and I felt nothing. Nothing. And I was like, what is this? I don't have feelings towards my own son. If there's anybody I love, it's this guy.
This boy, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, guys, classic depression.
And then I went to a hospital. When I came back, they diagnosed me with depression. And I'm like, all right, okay, cool.
Because, I mean, life became purposeless for him. It became purposeless for him. And guys, if you've been through depression, you'll know this, guys. It's like a blanket. You wake up, you're basically feeling nothing. There's no excitement. There's no expectation. And Cassper went through this until he found his way back to God. And let's hear how this actually transpired.
So they gave me a pill, made me feel better for a few hours. Next thing, I'm back up again. I'm like, what's going on, man? And then, but I'm like, man, that's not the answer. Then I went to therapy. And I'm like, okay, cool, therapy's gonna make me feel better, right? And it's like, yeah, it made me feel a bit better. But then, like, when I'm alone, you know,
There's a void.
yeah, there's this, you know, and I'm like, man, something's wrong. And then I take these pills, I feel better, and I can physically feel myself getting better, but then I can also physically feel myself getting worse when it comes out.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not the
Not the
answer.
way. Yeah.
It's something. And then I called Bugalav and I was like, yo, man, I'm going through something. He said, relax. Don't do anything. Come see me when you're back
Sure.
and we'll talk. That's what he said. I said, okay, cool. Let me calm down. Called me the next day. How are you feeling? It's like, okay, check this out. Read this. Slowly, you know, it built up until I went to church. And I was like, you know what? This how I'm feeling. Blah, blah, blah. And the answer I got was very, very boring, man. And blunt. But it's what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not what I wanted to hear,
Yeah.
but it's what I needed to hear. Because I went there and I was like, yo, man, what is life?
Yeah.
What is life,
Yeah.
actually? What is this thing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And this guy says, so I'm like, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
And this guy says, he pulls up a scripture in the Bible, I think it's somewhere in Genesis, and he says, yo, we're actually created to worship God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's our
That's
soul
the purpose.
purpose. He's like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I'm not gonna give you. He's like, bro, I'm sorry to do this, but we were created to worship God. And then someone says, yo, you know, God is gonna use us, and then He's gonna bless us, and that guy's like, yeah, that's all
beautiful
amazing.
and all.
And I'm not saying that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you're making it more about material. You're making it this relationship where we go to God for something.
Yeah, it's like the transaction.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you're such a good child, I'm going to give you $1 billion. It's like, nah, dog, that $1 billion does not matter. We're talking about salvation. We're talking about your soul,
Your soul.
that you cannot buy. You cannot do this
essence.
again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it hit me. And I'm like, this is what's missing. This is what I've been playing with. I've been playing with my life. And the devil had me. He had me so deep that I did not think about this at all. Everything that I did was validated and I could negotiate why I was doing it. I was addicted to sex. I was addicted to sexual immorality in general. And I had such a big ego. I thought I was better than everyone else. But I was humble in the sense that I wouldn't offend anyone. So
Yeah.
I'm a good person. So
Yeah.
anything that I do is fine because I'm a good person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But then I was like, man, like I was headed straight for hell if I didn't have that wake up. So I had an encounter with God. He put me in a place where only he could save me. I grew up in a Christian home, so I thought I knew God because my mom knows God, because my grandfather is
you
a
think
prophet.
that's your ticket
Because it's
to-
like, it's like, I got ladies, I'm on Donald's, I'm Donald's grandson. Yes, I'm going to him. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's like, nah, everyone has to figure out their own salvation.
Yeah.
Everybody's on their own.
Yeah.
So I had to know God for myself. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm learning. I'm in the beginning. But I had to have that encounter where God is like, do you know me? I surrendered. I went to an altar call. And I've done this 7 times, by the way. I went to the altar call. But this time, I understood what I was doing. I was giving my life to God. And I was giving my soul to God. I was writing my name in the heavenly book
Of life.
to say, when I leave this place, remember me. So having a personal relationship with my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ changed my whole perspective of life.
So guys, big up to Booga Love. I mean, he's doing a lot of work with these artists. And guys, for all of us, this channel is all about finding success. It's all about, being successful in entrepreneurship and all these things. But clearly one thing that we hear from Cassper here is that no matter how much you're successful materially, with fame in this world, if you're spiritually bankrupt, you have nothing, guys. You absolutely have nothing. And if your relationship with God is not there, you have nothing. You have nothing. I mean, he found Jesus, man. That's the best thing you can do for yourself when you are actually looking for meaning in this world, man. We're created to worship God, and that was that. So, guys, let me know what you think about this, man. If you enjoy this type of content, hit the subscribe button, binge watch all our other videos, starting with the one appearing on your screen right now. Cheers. Bye bye.